The purpose of this module is to discuss the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of positive and negative numbers. If I had to pick one area of this course that is perhaps the most important, this would be it. It is very important that you master the ideas in this module in order to be successful in the rest of this course and other math courses you may take. Before starting with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing positive and negative numbers, I want to give you some background information on some concepts that are important to know before working with positive and negative numbers. The title of this particular video is Integers and Absolute Value. So what are integers? Let me start off by just talking about 4 different number systems that are important to know for this course. First of all, we have the set of natural numbers. In the set of natural numbers, we are really just talking about the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. These are also known as counting numbers because when a young child starts to learn how to count, this is naturally where they start. They start with the number 1 when they start counting something. So the natural numbers are the set of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. The set of whole numbers is the set of natural numbers and 0. So when we talk about the set of whole numbers, we're talking about 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So the only difference between the natural number system and the whole number system is that we also have the number 0. Integers, which is what we will mainly be talking about in this particular module, integers are the natural numbers, their opposites, and 0. That's the exact definition if you look it up. And I'll say that again, the integers are the natural numbers, their opposites, and 0. So if I wanted to make a list of those, I might say that we're talking about -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and then going in the positive direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we would continue in both directions with those. So that's what we mean by the integers. Rational numbers are numbers that are fractions, and we will really be discussing that later on in this course. But if you have rational numbers, you have something like 2/3 or -3/5, those sorts of things. So that is the set of rational numbers, and many people, as I say, identify those as fractions. I will be using these different terms throughout the course, so it is important that you just know what is meant by these different numbering systems. Absolute value means the distance from 0 on a number line without regard to direction. And absolute value is indicated by having 2 vertical lines on either side of a number. So for instance, if I were to say to you, what is the absolute value of 3, that is how I would write it. The absolute value of 3 just means how far away is 3 from 0 on a number line, and obviously it is 3 units away. At the same time, what is the absolute value of -3? Well, the absolute value of -3 is also equal to 3 because it is 3 units from 0 on a number line. So just remember when we talk about absolute value, we mean how far, but it has nothing to do with going in the positive direction or the negative direction. One thing that I see sometimes from some people, if I were to say to you, what is the absolute value of -5? The answer to that is obviously 5. The answer cannot be a +5 because as soon as someone puts the positive symbol in front of the 5, they are giving a direction, and that cannot be. Now, the reason I'm talking with you about absolute value at this point is because when we start to add and subtract positive and negative numbers, I'll be using the term absolute value quite a bit, and I just want to make sure that you are aware of what that means. Let me talk about one more idea before we finish this video, and that is the idea of greater than, less than. I'm sure you've seen these particular symbols before. This is the less than symbol. So for instance, if I have something like 2 is less than 5, that might be the way that I would write that. If I have something that is less than or equal to, I would have something like that. I would have that symbol because this particular symbol underneath means that it is equal to it. The greater than symbol looks like this. So for instance, 5 is greater than 2. So this is the greater than symbol. And then once again, if I have greater than or equal to, I would put a line underneath it, or I would underline it to mean greater than or equal to. So if I have something like -5 and -3, and I want to put the correct symbol in between those two, well, -5 is less than -3 because -5 on a number line is further to the left of -3. Or if I have the numbers -6 and -9 and want to put in the correct symbol, well, here's -6 on the number line, here's -9 on the number line. -6 is further to the right, which means -6 is greater than -9, and that's the symbol that I would put in there. Remember that using absolute value can change which symbol you are using. For instance, if we had the numbers -4 and 1, well, -4 is less than 1, so we would use that particular symbol. But how about if I gave you the absolute value of -4 and the number 1? Well, the absolute value of -4 is 4, so 4 is greater than 1, so I would have to use the greater than symbol. The purpose of this short video was to review some information on terminology before starting to add and subtract integers. Oftentimes throughout this course, there is a quick check to do after a video to make sure you understand the concepts presented. However, with this video really being a video on terminology, there is no quick check. Certainly, if you have any questions about anything presented here, you can get in touch with me either through email or phone. Otherwise, please look for the second video in this module where I will begin to discuss operations with integers.